Let's talk soil brownies.
I've been soil blocking just about the entirety of my life, but at this big of a scale and really doing research on it, this is about my 4th year.
I value your time, so I'll be quick, but I will always give a level of background so that you know that I know about the subject that I am talking about, so that you can tell whether or not I've wasted your time. Hi, I'm Esther. I'm a flower farmer who's in my 5th year of flower farming on a bigger scale. I grow on around 1/4 of an acre and I'm currently planting about 10,000 seeds inside this grow room, another 10,000 outside. I feel like I've learned a thing or two, so I want to share a thing or two with you guys. I'm going to today explain about soil blocking and my method. So if you are not into soil blocking, you like tray seeding, you may want to go elsewhere because they are just two very different beasts. I don't want to confuse you about how to plant your seeds. I'm not super technical because why be technical when you can be fun instead? And I'm not super businessy because while I own a business, that's not the purpose of this channel. Hopefully I will talk somewhat about it because I am a business, but I want this to be enough information for the hobby gardener as well. Do you cook a meal or do you order online? Let's jump into soil blocking, or making brownies as I call it. When it comes to this, there are two different kinds of people. There are buy everything in one bag, get it over with, add water, grab a blocker. And the people who grab the recipe, make from scratch. One is not always better than the other, but I will say I am the latter. Mostly, but we'll get there. There are different reasons for choosing one over the others that are so human. Like, I don't have time. And there are good mixes for soil blocks. However, most mixes are made for tray seeding, and those mixes will make you hate soil blocking. So no, I grab a recipe, search down all the different ingredients I can find, and get to mixing. While I don't personally buy from pre-made bags, I can go over what to look for and maybe add in some of the mixes that I know a lot of people in the industry use. Just know that I am not an expert on pre-made soil options. If you have one that you really, really love, go ahead and put it in the comments, but make sure you add context because I love context so that other people can look at this and know, oh, this person tried that and they've used that for a long time and they know it works over time. That is the most helpful. So, hey, I'm a 5th year flower farmer. I've been using Fort V for 4 years. I absolutely love it. Let us know, but with context. Context is a beautiful thing. Since we're comparing this to baking, I guess you could call this my kitchen. It's a soil cart that holds my 3 ingredients for soil brownies, which are peat moss, compost, and a mix of nutrients. No, I cannot link this. I found this at a local discount store, but it is absolutely awesome. So the top here is my sifter. This here is peat moss. This is my final bucket that goes into. Over down here in the second layer is compost. And the last one here is actually for a potting mix that has nothing to do with this. The peat moss I actually picked up at a local nursery. You might like fiber instead, cocoa fiber, completely usable. I tried it. I didn't love it for its water retention and also how compact the blocks ended up, making it harder for my seeds to actually dive into the soil once they had germinated. So I spent too much time helping them. I will, however, tell you that I only tried one type of fiber one time. So I'm not an expert on that. I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm just saying I went right back to peat moss and I am not a giant fan of fiber. This personally is sifted maybe 3 or 4 times to create this. I've already done it, so it's in my white bucket because nobody wants to see me sift that. And then the next, and I can just pull it right out of here, is compost. I have an awesome county, guys. They actually really care about their compost. So they have a sifter themselves and they're like, we won't pick it up unless it's like pure leaf compost. They're really good about it. So I know what I'm getting is awesome. And man, like it actually really is gorgeous. I need to sift this maybe one more time into the bucket that it's going into, but check out your county. It's free for county residents. I just gotta go put it in buckets and I don't mind doing that if it doesn't cost anything. See how I do the camera, Blackjack? And here's where I don't actually get everything from Absolute Scratch. From the Gardener's Workshop, I actually get their nutrient mix, which is where my recipe comes from too. They have it conveniently right here. This nutrient mix has green sand in it and rock phosphate. So a lot of phosphate because that really helps the roots when they start diving into the soil. I will link this bag below, as well as Gardener's Workshop's YouTube channel, because she's amazing. You might run into people who say sterilize your soil. They might have horror stories on sterilizing your soil. I just want to add that here so that you know that are aware, so you can research that yourself. I am not going to talk about it. I do not sterilize my soil for a couple of reasons. I just am not sure that it's necessary. I did briefly did not find a difference between doing it and not, actually. So you can research that separately. Just I want you to know that it is a thing, but it's a thing that I do not do. Like any good baker, we can change the ingredients because we know what works better, right? So the ingredients do tell us to put 6 or 7 cups of water inside this mix. I typically do actually a good bit more than that. There we go. Not too wet or they'll fall apart, or not too dry or they'll fall apart. Just perfect. Goldilocks would be proud of my brownies. I'll grab a tray, which is one I bought at Dollar General several years ago for like $1 for 25 of these. They work beautifully, and you can just draw what it is and the date that you planted it right onto it, or you can use tape so that you can remove it later on. All you want. These things are beautiful. All right, here's my 20 cell blocker. I know some people get the Swift blockers. I don't have one of those at this time. It's not a big deal for me. I'm not that massive. Might be more convenient, but that's okay. This is where I typically make a mess. It's a little bit harder when you just made new soil. Just push that down. Maybe could have gotten this mix a little more wet than I have it. We're gonna test this. All right, so I usually use my fingers. I know it's messy, but that's just how I tend to do it. And I push down only just a normal amount. You don't have to push really hard, otherwise you make it too compact, and again, your seeds will have a harder time diving down into the soil if they're too compact. So do that. I have extra in there, so push it right off. Sometimes I do this with a spoon, but usually I just accept that this is messy work. All right, so there you go. I know I don't have any bubbles or pockets, otherwise I'll fill those in right over here to my tray. I tend to do a couple of like little pushes first to help loosen up the soil in there, and then one big pop. And there you go. Beautiful soil brownies. After planting, most of my soil brownies get vermiculite, which I actually call frosting because, I mean, look, it looks like frosting. So they get a layer of vermiculite, which is actually maybe one of the most versatile amendments you can add to your soil. So I put it over the top because it holds moisture, which is very helpful for the seeds and not drying out in the case that you don't get around to watering them as much. But it keeps the soil evenly moist on the top. It improves aeration as well. You can put it directly into your mix. I have done it before. Helps with drainage and aeration as well, but I don't. I sometimes do, but not too often. I really just like sprinkling it on top. Personal preference. You can research vermiculite as well. It really is awesome. So not everything is vermiculite though, because it can hold too much moisture, so that if you are growing something that really likes dry, to get dry, I would not suggest vermiculite there. So some things get more vermiculite, some things get less. It really is a learning game, but vermiculite's your friend. So there you have it. That's how I do soil blocks. When I jumped into flower farming, I just bought, I think it was Jiffy seed starter mix, and it wasn't the worst, but my blocks were falling apart. By the time they were larger than this, they had been watered many times. I had the blocks were falling apart where my water line was, and they don't do that unless I made the blocks poorly myself. So this I like a whole lot better than using regular seed starting mixes. That meant that because I absolutely love soil blocking, that was a lot of my off-season research. And man, did it pay off. And that's the basics of soil blocking. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, like and subscribe for more. And I'll see y'all soon.